Hello, everyone. Welcome back. View from the sidelines. I'm joined by Mike from West Ham Unofficial, one of Jake's co-hosts on that show. Mike, mad weekend, mate. We end up drawing. Think Europe's gone. Everton end up losing. Explain to me what's going on.
I actually said to one of my lads, I said, I can see Wolves doing us a bit of a favour, but Sheffield United, count that out, they ain't going to do us a favour. So it went totally the other way. And I mean, Liverpool were a little bit lucky as well, weren't they, to get something against West Brom. So some odd results. But out of all of them, I've got to be honest, mate, out of all the results, I think that Everton one was the best for us. Because realistically, the top four in my mind had gone. Last week it had gone.
That was gone, yeah.
And I'd written it off last week. So the Everton one is just taken a little bit of pressure off us. Not a lot, but enough now to think that one win out of the two will get us that 7th place.
Do you think, though, Mike, like, don't get me wrong, we've had a good season, but do you think this season's, like, especially towards the last 5-6 games, I don't want to say we don't deserve Europe, but the way we're playing, we don't deserve to be anywhere near Europe the way we're playing at the minute. I don't know about you. What do you think, mate?
We don't really. I don't think we've been playing well enough for some time now. It's been a while now since, I know we turned on a little bit in the Burnley game, but, you got to go back a little while since we beating Leicester and, went 3-0 up against Arsenal. We're playing some lovely stuff then, but I think a lot of it is, okay, we've missed Declan Rice full stop, but I think the nerves have kicked in a bit, really. We're not used to this sort of nerves, are we?
Yeah.
We're used to the nerves down the other end, mate, but...
yeah. Do you know what, though? I think in one way, this should be more easier. It seems like it's the same as being a relegation battle. Like, it's just mad. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when West Ham were down there fighting for their lives, I just think like that's if we go down, it's going to be hard for us to come back. Like, because even though we've got the fan base, there's big teams in the Championship, like Nottingham Forest. They're a big club. Leeds are in the Championship for a long time and League One. You've only got to look at like other teams down there. Do you know what I mean? Who are big clubs and
that's huge clubs.
Yeah, like even Stoke are there, but Stoke were a Premier League club for a hell of a long time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but let's go back into the game, Mike. From Saturday night, all of us are sitting down in front with our takeaways and a couple of beers, and thinking, you know what, West Ham are going to turn up against Brighton, and then the voodoo happens again, and we just don't win there. What went wrong, in your opinion?
But for me, mate, like I say, it's almost in their heads now. I mean, it shouldn't be. It should be wiping that out. I mean, that's down to the backroom staff and David Moyes to try and clear their heads and get them going. But it's there, isn't it? I mean, we all know our record against Brighton is, pathetic. I remember I've been there twice. Perhaps I should have went because I've been to Brighton twice and we won every time. One was back in 1979 and the other one was in the 80s somewhere, I think it was. But I mean, since I've been in the Premier League, our record against Brighton has been abysmal, and sometimes you just get that hoodoo, don't you? And it's just hanging over them. I mean, Brighton made it difficult for us. They set up well. They were hard to beat, but our position in the league and their position in the league, really, we should be beating them full stop. But
I agree with you, mate.
We didn't get at them early enough, in my mind. We didn't get out of the blocks. We just sat back for a while. We let Brighton have the ball a bit too much. It wasn't till the end of the first half that we really started attacking them, mate.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I would say last 5 minutes of the first half, I thought we was all right.
That was it.
The first 40 minutes, I thought, you know what is going on? And the thing is, what it frustrates me is that that's our strongest team on paper. I said it with you and Jake the other day.
Yeah.
That's our strongest team on paper. That's our strongest team that we can field, right? People saying that the squad's depleted. But I'm sorry, I can't have that one. Like, Antonio's been injured this season, but he should be fit by now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, how many he's been injured, he's come back, and then when he comes back, has a really good game at Burnley, and he goes missing for 2 games. It's like that Burnley game. I know he won us the game there, but technically we've actually lost points because he hadn't performed in the other 2. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it wasn't great in the first half. What do you think of the second half, Mike?
Second half, I mean, we had a bit of a go, but still wasn't good enough in my mind. It wasn't until Ben Rama come on that I thought we were going to score a goal, to be totally honest. I know Dawson missed that big header, really. That would have made a lot of difference if that had gone in. And, well, that was down to Ben Rama putting the ball on his head, really, in the box. So he couldn't have done any more, really. Yeah, we got a little bit better. We had a bit of a go, but there was a lot of players who just didn't really do it for me on the day. Were under par. I would have marked most of them sort of 5 or 6 out of 10 at the most. Who
disappointed you the most then, Mike? Who was the one who disappointed you the most? Because I know who mine was.
A lot of players in my mind. Fornells really was the one that disappointed me. He got himself into some good positions and didn't pull the trigger there once. The other time when the ball came into the box and he tried that little flick thing between his legs, that was a good chance really to get the ball down and maybe if he couldn't even shoot and lay it back to someone. There was a lot of people disappointed me. Jesse Lingard had a go, but still didn't do enough, did he? I know it's hard to criticise a guy who's really given us a chance to be in the position we're in. Without him, we wouldn't be there, full stop. But the last couple of games, he's just gone off the ball a little bit, which, is to be understood a little bit.
Yeah. The only thing with Lingard is that it's going to have a game. Well, I know he's come in, he's done really well, and I'll get all that. Yeah. He was amazing for the first sort of 10 games, for instance. Last 4, for me, he just hasn't been there. Like he's been like a shadow of himself. And the last good game he had was Wolves away.
Yeah.
Then after that, it's just gone downhill rapidly. Like Newcastle, he was poor. Chelsea, they isolated him. He done nothing. Burnley, I'll give him his due. He played okay.
Yeah,
I give him like that. I say he played okay, but just okay because that's it really. And then obviously the Everton game non-existent. And then Saturday, sorry. The same again. Like he's running with the ball, but the passing between him and Antonio was absolute horrendous.
I know. It has been so good at times this year, but it was some of the passing. Well, Antonio especially, some of his layoffs were just looked lazy to me. Some of the passes he laid off. One there, I mean, he tried to put, I think it might have been Fornells in, and just a lazy short pass.
Yeah.
It didn't look sharp enough to me. It didn't look, really. I said before the game that the team that really wants to win this will win this game. And Brighton, all those teams you've mentioned there, Newcastle, Chelsea, Brighton, all those games, right, where Lingard's done nothing, they all defend really well and don't give you any space in the middle of the park either.
Yeah.
The games like Wolves, and I've seen them, their defending was abysmal yesterday. Poor old Connor Cody. It was Connor Cody against Tottenham Hotspur. It was, like they tend to give you more room, even in the Leicester game. Arsenal game, you can get more room to make that break from midfield. But all those teams you just mentioned there that he struggled against, the teams that are compact around the back and in midfield and don't give you any space to run into. When he gets that bit of space, he's lethal. But he hasn't had it now for 4 games.
Do you think he's been found out, Mike?
A little bit.
Think people? Yeah.
I agree with that totally. I think he's been found out a little bit. All those teams have sussed him out, I think, really.
Yeah.
Well, look at Everton. I mean, Everton, like yesterday, couldn't score a goal, could they? And against us, they had one chance and they took it. I mean, but they're just sitting there and defending. And at least I'm glad we're trying to play some football and having to go at it in that way. It's just the spark's not there at the moment. It's gone.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I do. Like, I think with Lingard, I think what they're doing there, they're going right. Get a man on Lingard straight away. Right, isolate him. Antonio, he disappointed me again, mate. Like, he really did disappoint me. Like he will have one game, Mike, where he is phenomenal. Like, absolute phenomenal, right? Like, he's had games this season where he's been phenomenal, right? Really good games. He's been a menace. Like, against Arsenal, he was decent. Like, against Burnley, he was decent. And he scored some important goals. But then there's some games where he wants to start shooting from outside the box. And, like, do you know what I mean? Some of them shots would have hit a seagull on Brighton Pier. Do you know what I mean? It's not even a joke. Like,
some of his shooting was abysmal. Some of his decision making was abysmal. But I think that's what you get with him, full stop. He is not the finished article as a striker, and I think we both know that.
I agree with Ian on this one, right? He said we need a plan B when teams set up in a defensive way, right? I absolutely bang on there, because it seems like we go with plan A, that don't work. We're like, what do we do now? We've got no idea. Yeah. And it's
he's dead right. We haven't got a plan B. I mean, we desperately need to bring a striker in, mate, a proper striker. We need someone, like at the moment, Antonio, he knows he's going to play every game. There's no pressure on him. If he's fit, he knows he's in that starting lineup every time. And that is not a good thing, really. Full stop. That is not a good thing. There should be pressure on places. And I think I said it on Saturday. Our team was good. I was happy with the team. But the bench, other than Ben Rama, I'm a big fan of him as well. But we had nothing else to bring on that was going to unlock their defence.
Do you think, Mike? I agree with you on the Antonio thing, because I see it West Ham fans, even people are saying I'm negative towards Antonio now. I'm not being negative towards Antonio, but when you're doing nothing as a striker, questions need to be asked, because at the end of the day, you are paid to put the ball in the back of the net. And when you don't, I don't know how many goals he's got this year. I think he's actually got 9 now. I think he's level with Lingard. Now, we've got a lone player coming in January who's got 9. And we've got Antonio who's got 9, who's played near enough all season, on and off, with injuries and everything else. But it just seems to me like Jared Bowen on Saturday night gets subbed. Right? I thought that was harsh, mate. Honestly, like people say, "Oh, what did Bowen do?" But what did Antonio do? Really?
No. Bowen did nothing wrong. I thought he was unlucky to get subbed off. I thought he was unlucky. He seems to be a bit of a scapegoat at the moment, doesn't he?
But I don't know about you, Mike. Right, and because as you're like sort of a neutral, you're not with the there's a bit of rivalry at the minute on Twitter with a few people.
I'm in the middle. I am.
You're Switzerland. They're going to call you Switzerland. That's what you are.
I am. I can see both sides of the argument. To be fair,
what it is, I'm just going to ask you this though, right? If that is Ben Rama playing like Antonio and Lingard, full well he's getting subbed off on the 60th minute. It seems to me, I don't know about yourself, but I'm going to ask you anyway, is there a bit of favouritism coming into play now with like certain individuals at the club? Like, to me, Lingard, like Bowen could go centre forward, right? He's been there this season. He's done a good job there, I think. And when it ain't working with Antonio, I always think, right, Bowen centre forward, Antonio off, Ben Rama on, Lingard, Ben Rama, Bowen, and then you got Fornells there, and that's balls through the middle, like, do you know what I mean? And all that. What do you think? Do you think there's favouritism?
I don't think, I've said this all along, I don't think Moyes trusts Ben Rama, but I just don't see why he doesn't. Because Fornells, he'll lay off a bad ball, but you don't see Moyes going like that with his head in his hands and shaking his head. Every time Ben Rama makes a mistake, the camera goes to Moyes and you can see him shaking his head in disapproval. There shouldn't be any favouritism, but sometimes managers have favourites, don't they? I think Moyes wants Lingard badly, and that has hampered why Ben Rama hasn't got in the team. That hasn't helped Ben Rama getting in the side. And you can see, as soon as he comes off the pitch, you know, he's tapping him on the back, you know, and saying, "Well done, mate. Well done, well done." You know, I think Ben Ram is a sort of player a manager has to go and put his arm around. You know, I've been a coach, I've been a manager. I know at a much lower level, but you've got to work out what these players need. And some players you need to get in their face. You need to give them a bollocking because it works. You know what I mean? They go out and go, "I'm going to prove him wrong today."
Yeah.
But other players, if you do that, or you keep subbing them off, you know what I mean? You can see his shoulders drop, his head goes down when he gets subbed off. He's the sort of guy, I'm afraid, there's different characters, and that's what a manager's got to do, is learn to deal with that. And I think Moyes has done a pretty damn good job on what he's done this year. But if there's anything I could, you know, I could have a go at him about, would be maybe look at the way he's managed this guy this year.
Yeah, do you know what? You've summed that up brilliantly to me. Absolutely perfectly. I look at Ben Rama. I don't think he's a bad influence. He's not an Arnautovic.
No,
right? He's a guy. He seems to me, from me looking from the outside looking in, he looks like a quiet lad who's just trying to find his way in the Premier League, right? And I agree with you. Like at Burnley, he does one bad cross, and he is going berserk. And I'll tell you what, if I would have been in the crowd, I would have been going having a go at the manager. They're saying like leave it out, will you? Do you know what I mean? He's done one bad cross, and Antonio skies it like 35 yards, like into like hitting a seagull, and he don't say a word. Do you know what I mean? It's just I can't work it out. I really cannot work it out. Really can't. And I agree with you totally there, mate. I really do.
Everyone makes mistakes all the time, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see the chance that Aguero missed the other day?
Yeah.
An open goal in front of goal, and if it weren't for who was it? It was Ryan Sterling shot him behind him and knocked it in the net. I mean, if one of my lads in an under-16 team had missed that, you know what I mean? I'd have been, "Oh, what are you doing?" You know? Yeah. I mean, and that's Sergio Aguero, one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the Premier League. Everyone makes mistakes, and you just got to say, "Right, okay, get on with it." You know? It's sort of the players' attitude is after that is score the next one. And that's how it should be.
See, to sort of round it up on that, right? I agree with you on that. And hopefully now people will start backing this geezer up, Ben Rama. I will get to Ben Rama with his goal in a minute, right? But I just want to ask you this, Mike. West Ham Online says, who do you drop for Ben Rama at West Brom? Now, he's come on. He scored a goal. He should have assisted another goal if Dawson gets it on target. Who'd you drop? Because that's the $1 million question.
Yeah, no, I dropped Hawthornes.
Yeah,
because this is a must-win game, and I'm afraid we got to gamble. You know, I know Moyes won't do it. I know he won't do it because you know he wants him in that team for the work rate he puts in and the way he gets around the pitch. And sometimes when he's not playing, we do miss that, admittedly. But forget this. This is a different. This is 2 games left, and if we win this one, it takes the pressure off us for the last game. I mean, West Brom are going to be, we know what West Brom are going to play like, full stop. But we're going to need. They defended well, and Liverpool took Liverpool 95 minutes to get a winner against them. So we know it ain't going to be easy, but I think we just got to have a go at them, man. We just got to have a go at them. We got Souček and Rice in there. Sit him in front of them.
See, this is the thing, and I will get to Hawthornes in a minute. Ian says here, right, Ben Rama needs to always play against the so-called weaker teams as he can open them up with a bit of magic like he did with Brighton. I agree. Yeah. I do, mate. Totally I can't not. Yeah. When I look at him, right, when I look at Pablo Hawthornes, this is the best way of describing it. And I've seen it on Jake's channel with Jake's had people on, and Gary, I think he is agreed. Like I said, right, with Hawthornes, he can't see the height. And I completely agree with that, man, 100%. Now, when you're playing Man United, I understand it. You've got to be a bit more reserved, a bit more energy because they've got good players who can hurt you at any time. But when you're playing against the likes of Burnley and teams like Brighton, no disrespect to them teams, but we should be on the front foot. Like, we should be attacking these teams. like from the get-go. Basically, we've got good players in our ranks, and we're setting up like we're scared of to play Brighton, especially this season at home. Like when we set up, Moyes got it completely wrong, and 95% of the things that Moyes has done this season has been good. The other 5% has been absolute craziness. Like, do you know what I mean? And with the Fornals thing, I look at it like this, and I'm going to hand it over to you in a minute. I look at it like, with him, he's got good work rate, but if Ben Rama scores 2 more goals now, he's had a better season than Fornals. Like, do you know what I mean?
He's only got 3 goals, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got 3 goals. If he scores 2 more goals, Ben Rama, in the next 2 games, he would have 3 goals and 5 assists out of, I think it'd be under 20 games, right? So to me, like, he's had a good season. And then people will say about getting him out the door and all that. What do you make of it with all this Fornals Ben Rama thing? Like,
I don't want to run Fornals down too much because I think there's a player in there, but he needs a lot more coaching and a lot more working in there for him to be a top-level Premier League player yet. We've seen players progress and get better. I used Iheanacho as one. He was at Man City, couldn't get a game and struggled like hell. And when he went to Leicester to start with, he couldn't hit a barn door. There's a player in there. I see a player in there, but it's not quite there yet. And I think
let me ask you this, mate. I just want to ask you this: what type of player do you describe Pablo Fornals as? Because to me, he's not a winger. He's 100,000% not a winger, right? No. When they keep playing on the left, right, I understand defensively.
He ain't got the pace.
As a winger, he ain't got the pace, right? Exactly that, yeah. With a winger, you need pace, right? You need skill, pace, and drive to get past a person. A bit like Wilfried Zaha and people like that who can go wide and drift people out wide. A bit like Bowen and all, same thing. Yeah. So when I look at him, he's not a winger. No. What do you class him as? And I'll see what you think.
I'll tell you what I think about him, right? I think he is... He played there for 30 minutes in the last game. More of a defensive midfielder. Because he's tidy on... He can be tidy on the ball. He buzzes around and wins the tackle. He ain't that strong yet. He needs to work on that side of his game. But he either plays there or he plays as a number 10. I don't see him anywhere else. To be totally honest, he's not a wide player. He hasn't got the pace for it. We've only seen little bits of him in that deep position, but maybe if we get into Europe next year or whatever, that might be a position that he could be used in. I think there's a player in there, but I don't. He needs a bit of work on, and I really hope that they do get hold of him and work with him. But for this West Brom game, I'm starting Ben Rama in his place. Full stop.
Yeah. Do you know what? When I look at Fornals, right, I look at just a midfielder. I don't even look at him as a 10, really, because a number 10, and I'm going to bring Ben Rama up in this, Ben Rama's played less games than him. He's got more assists. And then Fornals has played like over 25 games for West Ham this season. He's only got 3 assists, I believe. Now, to me, if you're a number 10 and you're getting 3 assists, and that's all you've got to your name and 3 goals, to me, that's not acceptable. Right? And I get the hard-working myth, so to speak. I get it, right? Yeah, he works hard and all that, but don't they all? That's why we've got Rice and Suchek there. Do you know what I mean?
But I mean, he got that lovely touch to get himself in, right, didn't he, in the middle of the box? Yeah. Lovely little touch into it. And we've seen some of that this year. I mean, the goal that he scored when he just opened his foot up and slotted it in the corner. He's got good skills, but he needs to work on his finishing and his decision making. And that's why I keep saying there's a player in there, but he's just not there quite yet. So, for me,
see, Nick,
he's a good squad player to keep around for next year.
The thing is, he's been here 3 years, hasn't he? He's been here. Look, he's with Fornals. He's been here since 2018, and he's done well. He's done well for the time he's been here, right? But if you're playing a 4-2-3-1 system, it's like I use Man United as the example. I'm not comparing teams because Man United are a far better team than us. But when Man United play a 4-2-3-1, they have. Well, when you look at their team, it's very balanced. And when I see Fornals on that side, I just don't see any balance there. I see defensive balance, but I don't see any attacking balance. It's like, how can I put it? Like, if you're up against West Ham, you're going, right, don't worry about the left-hand side because Fornells is not a winger. He's going to be tracking back more than he's going to be going forward, right? He'll be buzzing about, but that's about it. Just make sure you stop Bowen, right? And then you stop Antonio and you stop West Ham, basically. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's sort of like, to me, I don't see him as a 10. I think there's better 10s there. I think Lingard's a better 10 than him. Ben Rom's a better 10 than him. And I don't know. I just think maybe because he's been here for a long time. I'm not sure if Moyes wasn't here when he last time.
No, he's a Pellegrini man, isn't he? I remember watching him for Spain under 21s when we signed him. I watched a couple of games. He played for Spain under 21s, and he and him and the guy from Arsenal plays in the midfield for Arsenal. Yeah, they looked outstanding, both of them. The Arsenal guy, I think, is he on loan or something from Madrid?
Yeah,
or something like that?
Is it Ceballos?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, those two were the best two players that Spain had in that team. Ceballos was probably a couple of clicks above Fornells, but you could see there was a player that, he had some ability, and he turned a couple of guys on the byline there, sent them one way and sent the other one the other, scored a couple of goals, got into the box at the right time, scored a couple of goals. So we could see there was a player there, but it's never. I think he's on a bit of a slow burner. He's taken a while to get used to the Premier League. But we'll have to say, time will tell, mate. Time will tell with him.
I agree, mate. Time will tell. I just want to ask you this before I sort of go into the West Brom game. What do you make of Craig Dawson on Saturday night?
He got caught out of position again, mate, like he did for the Calvert-Lewin goal. He did all right. He put some great blocks in. Defended pretty well, but if he gets stranded when we play a back four and he hasn't got another centre-half alongside him, he hasn't got Creswell tucked in there or whatever, he can get beat for pace. And I personally feel we need to go for another centre-back next year. I do. Ogbonna, for his first game back, Ogbonna had a great game. But if we really want to push for a top four place, we need another centre-half. Dawson, don't get me wrong, he's done really well. He's been a bargain of a buy, and we need to keep him around as a squad player, definitely. But it's a position I'd like to strengthen. Yeah,
I agree with you totally there. I think, I don't know, I think Diop, I like Diop, I really do. I just think he gets a lot of stick for sometimes, and Craig Dawson it just seems with West Ham, if you go through the middle West Ham defensively with pace, you're going to get joy. Calvert-Lewin done it, Welbeck's done it, both identical goals near enough, straight through the middle. I don't believe that you should have Ogbonna and Dawson as the two, because where's your pace coming from? Do you know what I mean? I know Ogbonna's got a bit, but he's in his 30s now, and he ain't as light-footed as a couple of the others. Do you know what I mean? I agree with you 100% about
when he's a defender. But with him is his positional sense and his concentration. Where he got done with a goal at Burnley, I think that was just concentration. He switched off for half a second, and you can't do that in the Premier League. That is the difference.
See, Luke says here, right, Dawson's a brick wall that they ain't very mobile, but you can't run through them. But the problem is you ain't got to run through them. You ain't got to pass it. If you pass it through them, if you do like the old famous Arsenal move, which is like the pass down the sides and all that, then he's as good as out of the game, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? And that's in a space of sort of 2 weeks, we've seen 2 goals where Dawson has been, I ain't going to say clumsy, but he's been slow. Do you know what I mean? He's been sort of
But I don't think he's any different than what Diop or Ogbonna would be in that sort of position either, to be honest. I mean, we've seen it, didn't we, in the Tottenham game where Ogbonna got caught with a bit of pace early on in the game. We've seen Diop, daydreaming a couple of times. He's been caught. So I think Moyes would probably go with him at the moment, especially against West Brom.
I agree.
So,
I think
We've got to stick with him at the moment, I think.
I think we will do.
Yeah.
I think we will do, mate. Honestly, I can't see us changing that team now, if I'm honest. Because, do you know what? When you look at our team, that is our full-strength team, which is which is unbelievable, really. When you look at that team on paper, you go, right, Fab obviously in goal, Cafal, Cresswell, wing-backs, left-back, right-back, centre-halves usually pick themselves. And then you got the defensive two of Rice and Souček, which picks itself. Then you go up front, it's like a mix and match, isn't it? It's like one day it'd be Fornells, one day it'd be Bowen, one day it'd be Ben Rama. Then you've got Lingard and Antonio, sort of thing, as the others. But yeah, going into the West Brom game, mate, how do you feel about the West Brom game? Because after what they'd done to Liverpool, and they were so unlucky yesterday. I mean, like, I've never seen a team more cursed in all my life.
I mean, VAR have got Liverpool that game, haven't they? Full stop.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, someone put up a comparison of when we lost to Liverpool when I can't remember, it was stood offside right in front of Fabianski, and Liverpool got that goal, didn't they? I mean, it's just whatever way they see it on the day, and the referee sees it. Mike Dean, I don't know what he's doing, giving them a free kick for that other one. Admittedly, they should have still stopped it before then, but VAR have given Liverpool that game. Otherwise, you know, West Brom are hard to break down. You know, give Oak Sam his due. He knows how to set up the defend, and he ain't going to want to lose against us. That is for sure. It's going to be tough.
I think if they keep Sam, and go in the Championship, they'll be up next year.
You get them back up.
100%. Yeah, he knows how to sort of. I think if he's given the right budget for that team, you go and get the players, you get them in there, and you do what you've done with us. I'm not saying they're going to win the league next year, but they'll be definitely up there. 100%. Yeah.
You get them up.
I
mean, I'm a bit worried about this game. I really am. I think it's a toughie. But if we get out of the blocks early, which we haven't done for a few games now, obviously, I think, you know, their heads could go down a bit, because that goal might have just, you know what I mean, might have done them some harm, because they fought so hard, and then, you know, to lose like that, I mean, that might have just shot their confidence a little bit, that goal. So that's why I'm hoping anyway.
Is this a night? We can't take West Brom for granted, right? But is this a must not lose game now? Like, this is like must not lose.
It is a must not lose, but if we take the chance and go and win, the pressure is off for the last game. And then Southampton, who we have got a damn good record against in the last game, with Tottenham playing, is it Leicester?
Leicester,
yeah. And who else is the other ones? I can't remember.
Everton have got Man City.
That's it. I mean, with that going on, I mean, it could take the pressure off us a little bit, and you never know. We might put back in that Europa League place. Yeah. So, if we draw, I don't see the difference. The point against Brighton made a lot of difference, because that kept Everton off our backs, and then with them losing, it's put that 3-point gap between us. But this one, I think, is almost a go out and give it a shot. Get the win, and then we'll have no pressure in that last game. Cool. We've got Europe of some sort then.
I must admit, we ain't got a good record at West Brom either. I think we've only won there. I've seen us get absolutely destroyed down there. And
3-0 once, and ripped us to pieces.
I'll never forget a famous game in 2011, I think it was. When we drew 3-0 with them. It was 3-0 down at half time. Scott Parker done his famous inspirational team talk. They come out, Demba Ba scored, I think Colton Cole scored. Yeah. And really, if there was another 5 minutes in that game, I think we would have won that game, and that year we would have stayed up, because Wigan beat us to the punch, and basically we got relegated. Yeah. But what did you make of West Brom yesterday, mate? I didn't see the game. All I see was the aftermath of it.
I didn't watch all of it, mate. I watched bits of it. And Pereira, is it in the midfield? He's a tidy little player. I like him. I mean, Gallagher as well. I know he's Chelsea lonely, I think he is. Yeah. So it's not all about brute force and brawn. I mean, they've got a little, they've got players that can provide the little bit of magic as well. But I mean, they're get out of ball at the back. I mean, they are really, if you bung it up in the air, they'll win the header all day long, I think. Admittedly, from corners, then we still might stand a chance because of our height and our ability from set pieces. But if we're just going to try and, get Antonio in with long balls, no, that ain't going to work. I think we need to work our way through their defence with the likes of Lingard and Benrahma. So, it'd be a funny game. I mean, if we don't score early on, I can see it being really tough. But if we get a couple of goals early on, I could see us, getting a decent win.
Do you know what? I think they've got to put a performance in. Like, they need a reaction. They need some sort of reaction now. It's getting to a stage now where they're what's the word? It's becoming stale. Like the team is just becoming stale a bit. Like they're trying. Did they really try on Saturday? Yeah, to a point, but it wasn't great. Like, and when I look at Sanchez, well, the best way of describing a keeper is what they do in that game. Now, I can't remember Sanchez really doing a lot other than picking the ball out of his net for Benrahma. I don't remember any saves that he sort of done other than the Souček probably long shot. That was about it. Yeah. So it's going to be a tough one, I think. And but we need to win. That's the thing. Like, I agree with you though. We've got to go all guns blazing on this one. This to me,
because we still have a chance in that last game of 7th if we win the last game. So why not take a punt and go and have a go at West Brom? Allardyce has done it in a couple of games, didn't he? I remember away to Palace when we had Lanzini and in midfield, and we were brilliant. And Benrahma, I mean, that night. So, I know we haven't got Lanzini now; he's out injured. But let's go and have a go. I know I keep saying it. I'd sooner see us do that, and not get anything than just sit back and get that point, because that point might not be any good at all. Because you can't forget the Arsenal factor. If they win both of their games, they get 61 or 62 points. So I mean, we've got to, unless Arsenal slip up in the week, and then that does take the pressure off totally. Then, but I mean,
and it is bad, isn't it, Mike? Let's be honest here.
Oh,
they were like 9 points behind us, near enough. Like, and now they're 3 points behind. Is it 4 points?
Yeah, 6 points in it.
Yeah, and that's, to me, just says a lot considering where they are. I don't think Arsenal. I think that point might have just done it for us. I think if we'd have lost the game against Brighton, I think
8.
Yeah, I think it's 8 for all day. I've done an interview with West Ham Fan TV after, and I said we could end up finishing 8th here if results go against us. And luckily, one went against us with the Tottenham. Everton lost, and it's kept us in there, sort of thing, so to speak. So, what do you reckon, then, Mike? Let's give us your prediction for West Brom.
I'm going to say 2-1 win. It's going to be a really hard-fought game, but I can see us. I can see us sneaking a 2-1 win at the best. We ain't going to batter them, no way, because not many teams have this year. But I'm just hoping that they're a little bit deflated after that late goal against them. You know what I mean? Might have just sunk a few of their heads. Because if they'd have got that win, I wouldn't have been giving us a chance. I've been saying lucky for to get a point.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of that, I think we might just scrape it.
Do you know what? I think this is going to be a goal fest. I think Luke put it in the chat.
There'll be goals.
Right? Yeah, I think there's goals in this game. My mate, I'll tell you something there. Yeah, my mate said to me on Saturday night. He said, "I don't know what it is, James, but when there's a Saturday night game, under 2.5 goals is always the best bet to do." Because every Saturday night, it seems like there's never any goals in like the late kickoffs. Like, do you know what I mean? And this game's 8 o'clock kickoff again. Yeah. And I think it's midweek though. But I think there's over 2.5 goals here. So I believe 2-1. Like you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm going to say 3-1. West Ham. Yeah, I'm going to go. I got Saturday's result right. I called a 1-0 from the start. And I said, you know what? I know Brighton too well, mate, and I just know that team just does us. But this is a game. If they don't perform in this game on Wednesday, then questions are seriously going to have to be asked, because is it that they're giving it away, or are they just knackered? If they're knackered, then I can understand it. But if they've got to put I want to see a performance like the Wolves' performance away. Do you know what I mean? I haven't seen nothing like that since that game.
No,
that was about 5 weeks ago. Do you know what I mean? So So I'm going to say 3-1. Who do I think will start? Well, don't be surprised, mate. You know what? Because nothing surprises me no more. But don't be surprised if Ben Rama's on the bench again. It really just doesn't.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. But I'd be a travesty if he is.
Yeah, and if he is on the bench, then he's asking for criticism if he's going to put him on the bench when the man comes and save the game. But I think 3-1. I think Antonio's got to turn up. Lingard has to do something in this game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I just hope that other clubs haven't circled around, got in his head, and that's why he's gone off the ball a bit, because he's done his job basically.
Yeah, that could be it. I just think that when he came to start with, he really had something to prove, and he's almost proved it. But now he's got to a stage where he's thinking, hang on a minute. I reckon his price has come down in the last couple of weeks, mate. Honestly, it should have done, because he hadn't really done that much. And, his price could have come down a bit. So maybe now he should be thinking, hang on a minute, I've done nothing in the last few games. If he does want to be in the shop window or whatever, I've got to start producing again. And I hope that's his mindset. And I really do hope that he has the game of his life against West Brom.
So do I, mate. I really do. He has to start performing now, because it's getting to a stage now where, like you said, Pereira, for instance. Now, if at the minute, I know Lingard's been great, and even I said we should sign him, but are we looking at it now thinking, if this is what he's like when he goes off the boil, right? Is he worth the money that Man United are touting for him, like 30 million, 35 million, when we could go and get Pereira out of West Bromwich Albion for probably 20? He's younger and he's got a sell-on value. Do you know what I mean? So, it'd be interesting. I'm going to say 3-1. Moyes has got, I think he'll go with the same team, but he'll take either, it's either going to be Bowen or Ben Rama. One of the two.
Yeah. Exactly what I was going to say. He either starts Bowen or Ben Rama, and the rest of the team is going to be
exactly the same. Do you know what I mean? Because, and it is when you look at it like that, it is quite frightening, really, when you look at our bench, and he's got no trust in any of them on the bench. Obviously, there's got to be a massive overhaul in the summer. A lot of them players have to go. Yarmolenko needs to go. He's been there a long time. He's on silly money, and we could go and get rid of him and bring in two players on these wages, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? 60,000 each. So hopefully we get a positive result, and then on Sunday we could be watching the game or going to the game. Whoever's going to the game, relaxed. Yeah, but I know West Ham too well, mate. It's a last day job all day. Do you know what I mean? But
I've been to a lot of last games of the season, to be honest, over the years. I've been to a lot of them, and I've got a ticket for Sunday. I'm get some sort of disabled access because I'm on my crutches still, but I can't go and sit where I normally do. But I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it, mainly because I've been locked up in a bloody house for 3 weeks anyway, and I haven't been able to do much. I'm going to make the trip up there and hopefully pray that the little bit of pressure comes off us by winning Wednesday night, and then we can enjoy the day a bit more.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I really do. Just to sort of end it though, Mike, what's been your highlight this season? What have you enjoyed from the team?
There's been a lot of games. Obviously, we've had some great wins. Disappointed with some of the games against the bigger teams, But I like the way that we've beaten those teams that normally beat us this year. Not counting Brighton, obviously. Teams like Wolves. Now, we haven't beaten Wolves on 4 occasions, and we've beaten them. We've stuck 7 goals in the Wolves, and I think we've only scored 1 against them in about 4 or 5 games before that. I mean, some of the games, we like Crystal Palace, we always struggle against them.
Yeah, especially away.
We rip them to pieces away from home. And games like that, which we normally struggle in, and we might scrape an ugly win, which, don't get me wrong, we've done that on a few occasions this year. Yeah, we've done that as well, which also gives you a little bit of pleasure as well when you scrape a, shows that they got the bottle and the fight for it. But all round, I just, it's those sort of games, that we normally, slip up in. We've actually turned them round this year, and that's what we need to keep doing for next year. I mean, I never thought we'd get Champions League. Realistically, when we're sat in that 4th place, I think we probably bit off a bit too much of a chunk. I think I trust in Moyes. I think he's trying to build something. We need to. It needs to be. He needs to be. Obviously, the owner's got to show him some faith. He's got to have a decent contract, and he's got to have some money this year. And that's what I really want to see. But we've seen a massive improvement from last year. That is for no doubt about it.
You come saying that about the owners. How big a summer is it for these owners? Because I believe that this makes or breaks it for. Well, with me, I want them out. I want them gone. I'm quite clear on that. I think. I can't go over West Ham while they're there. Because I just think what they've done to a lot of fan base and a lot of the hardcore fans who've been there year in, year out. And a lot of homes that people lost, a lot of jobs that people lost, and they just didn't give a shit, really. But I think for the club itself, I think they need to start showing a bit of faith to David Moyes, and give him the money that he needs.
Yeah, the only thing I can say about him, I wanted him out. Obviously, I've not been happy with it. I used to go to Upton Park, went there for years. Loved the place. They took away our home. They took away our identity. All that that'll never be forgotten. But they used to be out front a lot of that, didn't they? All the time. They've gone quiet for a while now. Now, that's an improvement in my mind that they've been quiet. But now's their chance to show us that they can be some half-decent owners. They got their chance. It's too late what they've done. You know what I mean? And what they've done, it will be never rebuilt, full stop, in my mind. That is a scar on me, full stop.
Yeah.
But now they've got a bit of a chance to try and get maybe some of the other supporters, on side a little bit by giving them the right sort of money and the right sort of backing now, and giving Moyes a chance to buy some players that he wants and not what David Sullivan wants.
I agree with you 100%. They can build bridges. There's nothing wrong with building bridges, but I think the empire has been burnt down for a long time.
That can't be rebuilt, mate. That is done. Yeah. That is done. And we can never forgive them for that, ever. But like you just said there, they can build some bridges. Now they got a chance. Yeah. Let's see what they can do.
See, the thing is next season, it's Mark Noble's final season. I think they have to sort of go out. They have to get a number of players. We need a left back at the club. That is certain.
Oh, yeah.
This season, when Cresswell gets injured, we've got no defensive back line. We have to go to a 5, which is madness. And Ben Johnson on the wrong side. And for how good Mazuaku people think Mazuaku is, to me, he's been here 6 years and he hasn't improved, in my opinion. So I think we need a left back. We definitely need a striker, if not 2 of them, because this is a prime example I'm going to give you right now. Newcastle United, who are really struggling this year, have 6 strikers on their books at Newcastle. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but we've not got one. You know what I mean? And that is like they've got Dwight Gale, Joe Linton, Wilson, Carroll. You know what I mean?
Well, you can look at Burnley. Burnley have got 4 decent strikers.
Yeah.
They've got Rodriguez and Barnes to come on with Vidra and Wood.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Burnley. I mean, and we haven't got one really, like you just said.
Yeah, and it is. I think there needs to be about 5 new signings at the club. Not like it was back in 2016 when we got into Europe and we come in with like 11 new players, because that's just madness. Like if you're going to come in with 11, then you could possibly like ruin the squad. You know what I mean? But I think 5 players are needed. I think a goalkeeper. I think a goalkeeper we can do without. But do you know what? I'd go and get Areola. If because Areola could be there, even if you loan Areola for a season, because look what Fulham done. Do you know what I mean? I'd go to places like Fulham and get some of their players out of there, like the centre half. I think he's all right. The centre half, he's not bad. Is it Anderson? Is it?
Anderson.
Yeah.
Anderson.
Yeah. West Brom, Pereira, Johnson, even Sam Johnson. Like when I was seeing fees of 25, 30 million for just Sam Johnson, I'm thinking not for me. But if I'm hearing fees of 7 million, then it's worth it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So we will see on Wednesday night. And I will wrap it up, Mike. I want to thank you for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And
if I don't, problem, mate. At the moment, all I'm doing is physio.
Yeah, that's it, mate. But at least on Sunday, you get to go to West Ham and see the final game. And
even if they got to push across there in a wheelchair, mate, I'm going to get across there.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's what it's all about. I want to thank everyone who's been watching today. I'll be back probably tomorrow doing a preview and having a look to see what team West Brom will be going out with. I picked a team against the Brighton team. I was unlucky. I got 2 of them wrong. The rest of them I got right. So, yeah, I'm going to have a look at it and have a good think about how we're going to approach the West Brom game. Another one. It's another cup final, and this one is the cup final for me, because if we win this, we get what we are aiming for, and that is European football of some sort. So, yeah, let's hope for a positive result. The boys need to turn up on Wednesday. They need to turn up there with an attitude of saying, right, we're West Ham United. We are 6th, 5th, 8th in the league, wherever we are at the minute. And we have got to go and prove that we are a decent outfit and we deserve Europe. Because at the minute, I haven't seen it myself in the last 5. I mean, so, yeah, have a good time, Mike, on Sunday, mate, if I don't speak to you. And be safe. And thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care all. Goodbye.